skies, both hypnotized. Find a way, find a way. Spend the night with you in Paris, Lord. So unfair, you left me there. Took the 9:35 from Paris, Lord. In a heartbeat, you were gone. Like ships in the night, love at first sight, holding you tight. Find a way, find a way. Spend the night with you in Paris, so unfair, you left me there. Choose the 9:35 from Paris, left with just her aroma from my standstill adventure. Now I'm stuck in a world of regret. And it's 9:35. I'm not happy, but I feel alive. So much I wanted to say, but now it's too late. Find a way, find a way. Spend the night with you in Paris, Lord. So unfair, you left me there. Took the 9:35 from Paris, Lord.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good week and that your weekend has started well as well. And I just saw somebody, I don't know what the username was, in the live chat room just as we started there saying, it looks like he's lip syncing The Big Cheat. That's not a live performance. That is a lyric video for my album track called Paris Nord. And the imagery that's taken for that video was imagery from the live performance that I also show on the... I can even show it here somewhere. Let me try and find it. So, oh, can you still hear me in the background? Hopefully. But, do I talk during this at the beginning? I don't know whether I talk at the beginning of this or not. Yes, I do.
Hello, Phil here, obviously.
So that's where I took the footage from in order to make the lyric video. Because people said, oh, you haven't got a lyric video for Paris Nord and we want to be able to listen to it, so can you do that? And I said, well, I haven't got any footage. And people say, use the footage from the acoustic version that you did. So then I did. And that's the problem, that you get people saying, oh, it's not live. I know it's not live. So, I guess the point would be, I wouldn't be now explaining this if I was trying to hide something, but yeah, everything's totally open on my channel. So yeah, that's the actual album track, and you can get that album track at wingsofpegasus.com/music. And you can also see that live version where I record it once, then I sing with myself afterwards, to do the harmony lines, or should I say just the harmony line, because it's just 2 of my voice, and I play that on the live streams when it gets requested. So there you go. Anyway, right, let's get back into the swing of things for tonight's live stream. And first of all, I get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And let's try and keep things organized for tonight by getting the lights goal up on screen really early. And I can see that we're 1 fill jam behind, because it should be 281. So that's that changed. Right, aiming for 430 likes. So if you could hit that thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. And there's the likeometer at 193 so far. So hopefully we can get a bit of a spike of the likes going on, and we'll see where we end up by the end of the live stream. And yeah, we'll have a jam at the end of the live stream, and rest assured, I won't be pretending to play the guitar. I will actually be playing the guitar at the end of the live stream if we hit that goal of 430. We'll keep an eye on it. Right, so let me give you guys a shout out in the live chat room. We have in there Billy, Pamela, Lisa, Sue, Linda, Paul, Bernadine, Rose Rowe, Joe, oh, and then Kevin stops the rhyming. Mimi321, Elaine, Gale, Tammy, Debbie, Bang Bang Drummer, Alison J, Mo, Bella, Joe. Oh, we've got a little bit of rhyming going on tonight. So hello to all of you in there. Thank you for tuning in tonight and interacting in that live chat room. I can see that. Yeah, we've got all the regulars in there, so thank you guys. If this is your first live stream, welcome. We live stream on a Saturday night and a Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and with the clocks that have changed recently in different countries and here in the UK as well, you might have to type into Google time in London, England, and then you'll see what time it is here, and it's almost exactly 12 minutes past 11 here in the evening. So the final thing to get up on screen is the donations tab, because you don't have to donate, just watching is great. And that goes for everything on the channel. I always say this in the live streams, and I say in every single live stream, just to make sure that people know you don't have to donate for anything. And occasionally we'll get a troll in the comment section who says something ridiculous like, oh, why are you just chasing money, asking for donations all the time? It's like they've never watched my channel. I actually do the opposite and say you don't have to donate. I'm quite happy you just watching my channel. That's great. And leaving a comment and hitting the thumbs up if you want to, that's great as well. But you don't have to donate. But some people do donate, and I can't stop them from donating, because that's their prerogative. If they want to, that's their free choice, their subjective choice that I have no control over. That if they are going to donate, they're going to donate no matter what. Even though sometimes when somebody's messaged me and said, oh, where do I donate to? And I say, you don't have to donate. And this is through emails. And I say, you don't have to donate, just watching is fine. And then they say, yeah, but I want to donate, so where do I donate to? And I say, no, it's absolutely fine, just watching the channel is great. And they keep on emailing. So this is why there's an option for people. So if they can't resist donating, then there's a way that it can happen. But I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But it is all fine. Right, now we are organized on screen. We've given a few shout outs. I can see that there have been a few donations in the super chat window, so thank you guys for these. And I'm just going to try and keep myself organized in the PayPal window as well. Let's click down there, so that's now ready to go. And first of all, Timothy donated $4.99, so thank you for that, Timothy. And that's a message that says, hiya everyone. So hello to you, Tim, or Timothy, and everyone say hi Tim or Timothy in the live chat room. And Valhalla's donated £5 as well, so thank you for that, and that is a straight up donation. And Jennifer has donated $7, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, hope you beat that ticket. I'm eating your tacos for dinner. Thanks for all you do. So thank you for that. And tacos or tacos? Tacos. I'm going to go with tacos. This is something that I never remember how to say this because it's not something that I eat, so it's not really in my vocab. So, Bella says, why don't you ever do King Crimson covers? Because they've never been requested. And when I did those cover videos, like over 30 of them, like 35 of them, they were requested covers. So somebody has to ask for me to do a song and then I do it. So that's how it worked back then. But now, because it's just me doing everything on the channel, I don't have time to put together the cover videos, because what I did with those is play everything myself and build it up from literally an empty project. That's what I'd do, is you start with silence and then build up the cover from there, and that's how I did it. So yeah, it usually took me a couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks to do all that, and that is what I did every month, just one video a month. And as you might be able to tell, things have moved on a little bit since then, and I'm doing a lot of other things and a lot of other projects. So the cover videos are still on the channel and still over on Patreon, and we play them on the live streams. But yeah, doing covers isn't something that I'm spending my time on currently. So yeah, the reason that I haven't done any King Crimson covers is because they weren't requested. Right, and this is the same for my analysis videos. When people say, oh, why haven't you done an analysis video on this artist or that performance? It's because it hasn't been requested. So it's always a very simple answer, but it is what it is. So let's now move into, and just for that parking ticket ridiculous scam thing that unfortunately I was a victim of, there's no way to fight that ticket. You have to pay it. But I did pay it for the half price because they didn't catch me out. Because as soon as it got delivered through the letterbox, I saw it and I read it. And then I could see that they're delayed sending that letter for 13 days. And if it had been 14 days, it would have gone up to £100 rather than £50. But I paid it on the 13th day. So, yeah, they didn't catch me out with that, thankfully. But they still get £50 for what should have been something. If we're talking about how long I was there for, it's 50p for an hour's parking. And I was there for 15 minutes. So, what's that? That's like 12 pence or something. So for 12 pence I had to pay £50 in the end with the charge, but it could have been £100. So £99 88 pence for the parking people, their compensation for me being there for 13, 14, 15 minutes. So yeah, absolutely crazy. But yeah, this is why it's a scam, because you can't do anything about it, because they didn't tell everybody that they changed the parking, and now that it costs money, whereas it didn't used to cost money. But there's another car park that I went to recently, which was Sainsbury's, and this other place was Waitrose, just basically names of stores. And Sainsbury's allow you to park there for free for 2 hours. So I think Waitrose need to take a leaf out of Sainsbury's book, because 2 hours is more than long enough, I think, to do your shopping, which is great. But that's a lot further away, unfortunately. But anyway, we will push on. My Vocal Journey's just donated $10. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, do you think Red Beach is one of the most underappreciated guitar players? Did you enjoy his work with Dokken on Erase the Slate? Keep up the great work, Phil. So thank you for that. And yeah, Red Beach as a guitarist, the first thing that kind of stood out for me were his legato phrases, how smooth they were, and how he blended them together. And it's something that I like the sound of. And I guess I've never really been into having phrases that are alternate pitch, so they sound more aggressive. And I've not really been into that sound, even though for teaching guitar I kind of learnt to alternate pick, and for some of the covers, like with Reb does alternate picking as well, but with some of the covers that I've done, like Dokken, with George Lynch, and kind of alternate picking runs and all that kind of stuff, I can do it, but I don't really enjoy the sound of it that much. I'd much rather have a legato sounding phrase without the aggressiveness of picking every single note. So yeah, Reb's technique, I didn't know when I first heard him, and it was probably like Madeleine or 17, one of those solos, Winger. So if you don't know what the songs I'm talking about, but some of those solos where you had those phrases that just kind of seem to smoothly ascend up and down the fretboard. So I love the sound of it, and I tried to kind of work out what he was doing, and then I realised that he was using his third finger to pick a string while moving up. But what I didn't realise is that I was doing it a different way than when I saw him playing, and I realised, I've worked it out a different way. So I've got a similar kind of sound, but it always tends to be the case that you don't really know how somebody's doing something until you actually see them do it. When you try and listen to it, you try and figure it out for yourself, which is kind of what I did. And yeah, occasionally I'll put some Red Beach inspired technique in there because I like the sound of it, but certainly for being underappreciated, I think he's a name that doesn't really get mentioned in the mainstream because of Winger. Sometimes when I talk about Winger, people don't know who I'm talking about, and Dokken, again, fall within that bracket that I think you've really got to be into your 80s and then kind of 90s, early 90s. If we're talking about Winger, you've got to be into that kind of stuff to know who the instrumentalists are, and who like Kip Winger is, for example, and Don Dokken and George Lynch, and all the different instrumentalists in the band. But certainly one thing that I will say he's underrated for is backing vocals, because with Kip Winger, Kip is hitting some seriously high notes anyway, top end of the male tenor range, and A4s and B4s and C5s, and Reb is hitting notes above that when he's harmonising with Kip live. So that's something that that might fly under the radar that he's doing that. So yeah, really impressive vocally as well, but yeah, just burns up the fretboard. So I'd say that he is maybe, I don't know whether underappreciated, underrated. I think people who know about him don't underrate him. I think maybe he's under-mentioned in conversations of great guitarists in the 80s and the 90s, and certainly having a particular way of doing things and a particular technique that was different to others. And I think the main thing about that is really picking the string with his third finger. Or did he use his second finger? Because I do it with my third finger, I know that I say doing it wrong. I don't think when you're listening to something and you're figuring it out for yourself, you can ever do it wrong, because you're just figuring out your own way of doing it. But I'm doing it differently to how he does it. I think he might actually pick the string with his second finger and just tap in with his first finger, and just kind of hold his pick with his thumb inside his hand. That seems to be what he was doing, whereas I still have my pick in my, or between my first finger and my thumb when I'm kind of doing that. So anyway, yes, I enjoyed his work. I've enjoyed all of his work, so it doesn't really matter with Dokken or Winger. Yeah, it's all kind of really, really impressive, and you get this, Whitesnake as well. You get guitarists that kind of jump between different bands, all in that. I guess they're all in that same bracket of the 80s and the early 90s, those hard rock bands, melodic hard rock bands as well, that you get the guitarists who seem to switch in and out. So yeah, it is great, and that obviously just all of an amazing technical ability and standard that they can all add something to it. When one guitarist joins another band, they can then play a solo in a slightly different way and add something to that particular solo that everyone might know, but now you get to hear it played in a slightly different way. So yeah. Anyway, Melody Rock says, can you please demonstrate some of his techniques? Well, I wouldn't be able to do them justice, but maybe. Let's see. I want to get up to date with the PayPal window, but I was going to say I'll grab a guitar, but I suppose I can do it on the Strat. Normally it's going to be on something like the Gem with a lower action, but I can have a go at doing it on the Strat. So not that you'll necessarily be using that guitar, because when you are tapping you want to have a little bit more sustain on there. But yeah, maybe we will jump into that in a second. We might still have a bit of time to do it. So I want to address the donations that have come through on PayPal, and it was Nicole who donated £50. So thank you for that, Nicole. And the message was, hi Phil, here is £50 to cover your fine at supermarket. A legal but dishonest fine. Friendly rock for all. So thank you for that. A very kind donation. And we've had another one, and this is from Ari, who's donated £20. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The name is spelled A-R-I, and that is a straight up donation, so thank you for that. Angela's donated £10.93. Thank you for that, Angela. And the message is, hi, sorry I'm not able to join the live stream tonight. I will be celebrating one of my dearest friend's birthday, but I'll miss you and my Winger family. Everyone hit that like button to hear an awesome Phil jam. Hello, Phil. Angela, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, and a great idea there by Angela. Hit that thumbs up if you do get a chance to do that. It'll be very much appreciated. We're aiming for 430 likes in the top corner of the screen, and we are approaching 300, which means we're looking for 136. That's what my brain is telling me, and I think that's right. So now what, 135. If you can hit that thumbs up, that will be great. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, hitting the thumbs up really does help to allow the channel to grow, and for the live streams to get out there a little bit more as well. So there's been another donation. Paul's donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, have fun tonight, all y'all. Please spike the likes. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And I'll tell you what, let's have a plug of the mug as well. That's something that I do about once a year. If you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, you can click on the tray underneath this video, which will take you through to the Dashery store. And recently, yeah, you might have missed the last deal. That was last weekend. But whenever there is another deal, I think actually the next deal coming up is most likely going to be Black Friday. I'm not sure when that is, but obviously you can head over there and look at as much of the merchandise as you want, and you can get as much merchandise as you want. It's actually a lot cheaper than the spring.com store before, and it's a bit crazy because it's a lot cheaper, it's better quality, and it gets delivered more quickly. So figure that out. And yeah, no new news yet about the spring store and me actually getting the $1,140, whatever it was, that I still had in there from merchandise sales that they haven't paid me yet, unfortunately. And it's been, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. It might be getting on to 2 months. So we'll see how long that money takes to get through, if they ever actually give me that. But I mean, it's just a good sign that it was the right choice to move away from that particular store. But yeah, Dashery are a lot more reliable. So yeah, if you do go over to the store, you will definitely get some good quality items, and they will be delivered quickly. So we will move on with the PayPal window here, and it is Debbie who's donated £5. Thank you for this, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, thanks for playing Paris Nord. It's such a beautiful song. Hope the trolls are behaving this week. You're awesome. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And I don't know whether that was in reaction to the troll right at the beginning of the live stream, but yeah, if people ask me about performances, I'll always say whether it's live or whether it's an album track that I've just put imagery to, which was in that particular case. Karen's donated £5 and 10 pence. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, glad to be back after missing a couple of live streams just for fun. Which would you choose? You always have to say what you're thinking, or you are frequently compelled to lie for no reason, and why? Thanks for all you do. Cheers, Karen. So, probably always say what I'm thinking. So, that would be my answer there, because lying for no reason, yeah, I don't think that'll end in anything positive. At least if you're always saying what you're thinking, you just have to think in a more... I was going to say, I don't know, it's like thinking... But if you're thinking, I was thinking about thinking ahead. So before you think something, try and make sure that it's going to be fine to be said. But as soon as I was thinking, hang on, but you think something straight away. So you can't pre-think something. It's already going to be out there. So I guess I'd still choose that, because the other one, compelled to lie for no reason, that would be like somebody saying, do you want a cup of tea? And then me saying no, but I actually do want one. And then I can't explain that I do want one. And they'll say, oh, well, you usually have a cup of tea, so why aren't you having one today? And I'll say, oh, because I don't fancy one. And I wouldn't be able to say what I actually wanted. So, yeah, that's why I'd choose the first one. And is the, like, maybe vetting thoughts. Maybe that's the word that I was trying to think of. But that would be impossible to do. Anyway, there we go. That's that one answered. Tracy has donated £10. Thank you for that. And the message is, I love when you play the gem and know you're too busy to change the strings. How much would it cost to have a guitar shop restring it? I'd love to get a fund going so we could hear you play it again. So thank you for that. And it's not really... I will keep on playing it until the string or strings are no more. It might happen live. It's most likely definitely going to happen live. But yeah, it's not that, you know, I don't have time to change strings. Like if I did break a string on it, I would change them. It's just that the Strat is always plugged in from one live stream to the next, and you know, just grabbing whichever one's plugged in is always the most convenient for the live streams. So yeah, it's not really a case of me not playing it because the strings are old. The Strats, I guess my go-to, because of the tonal options that you get on it, is just always plugged in. But anyway, thank you for that, Tracy. And anyway, oh yeah, if you're going to take it to the shop, I don't know how much that they charge to change strings, because I've never taken it to a shop for them to change it, because I just do it myself. So I mean, they might charge what, £15 or £20 including the strings, but then it depends how quickly they can do it, because they might say, oh, it took us like an hour. Then I say, well, what were you doing? It shouldn't take you that long. So yeah, I don't know how much it will cost, but it's obviously a lot cheaper just to do it yourself. Lisa's donated £3 and 64 pence. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, any new happenings with Authentic Vocal? Also, any more thought to doing the guitar demos after the live streams? So thank you for that. And the problem that I've got at the moment is, yeah, keeping up with everything just on the channel. But I am working on the Authentic Vocal video with all of the vocal coaches, and I think I've got 7 now. It might be 8, but because I'm waiting on kind of maybe 2 other coaches, it might be the case that I draw a line in the sand and say, right, at that date, because this was something that I was going to release last month, but I realized that, I'm going to have to wait for the vocal coaches to record and upload their videos, send them to me, and then tell me, which some people might have given me a couple of songs, and they say which one they might want me to feature. So yeah, there was a lot of waiting time, especially considering the amount of vocal coaches that are going to be featured. So that is something that is going to be happening over on Authentic Vocal, and that will be the next thing that happens there. Obviously, there's a lot of work behind the scenes, but if you do want to make sure that you are subscribed over on Authentic Vocal, then that would be good. And it's at official Authentic Vocal, and on you, and that's the Instagram channel, if you want to head over there. But the YouTube channel is at it's at official Authentic Vocal. Is that what I just said? I think I just said it. And then over on Instagram is at authentic.vocal. The dot is the Instagram thing, and I think it's just because of usernames and having to choose something and put in a forward slash or a number or an at and all that kind of stuff. So I thought the authentic.vocal for Instagram was probably best, but for YouTube, at official Authentic Vocal. That's what we want to type in, and subscribe, because that video will be coming out on that channel. So I'll probably release it here at some point in the future, but it's very much going to be about Authentic Vocals, and all of these vocal coaches are singing totally unaided, not using pitch correction or auto-tune, and with some of them they're just playing a piano and singing, and some are singing into a condenser mic like this with a bit of reverb on the sound, but the effects are only post signal. So once you've sung into a microphone, then reverb gets added, then delay gets added, or you might compress the vocal, so you add compression, and it's all after the vocal. Whereas when you start editing pitch, that's pre-signal, so it's already been changed before you hear the signal. So there's going to be none of that, but you can probably tell because it's for Authentic Vocal. So yeah, that'll be the next thing that'll be released there. And yeah, it's definitely going to be before the end of the year. I've also got some ideas planned for Authentic Vocal to start things rolling and getting the ball rolling from a live performance perspective, and maybe having to discuss a few things with some of my contacts to roll out into the real world the Authentic Vocal logo. And I guess what I am wanting to do, which will probably happen on this channel with the merchandise, is roll out merchandise for Authentic Vocal, so people can walk around with the registered trademark, and people might say, what's all that about? And they can say, oh, this is a site and a YouTube channel that only feature authentic singers who and when I say authentic singers, I also mean non-AI singers, human singers. It's crazy that we're going to have to talk like this in the future, but it only features human singers who are singing. Yeah, I mean, it does sound ridiculous that somebody's got to create something where this happens, where there's a place to go where you can hear people actually singing, because everything is an industry standard now to pitch correct somebody's voice. So you think, well, if that's standard, how do you ever hear something that is genuine? The answer to that is Authentic Vocal. So that's what I've come up with. So I will be giving more information about it in the future, but it's something that's probably going to maybe kick into gear maybe over the next few months at the beginning of 2026, because I think a huge part of it is getting it out into the world and getting people to understand what it is, and maybe having a few live performances that are affiliated with Authentic Vocal, and maybe even a video or two on other channels that I know do supply authentic vocals and it is somebody genuinely singing, and maybe getting in contact with them. But like I said, lots of ideas for it in the future and ways to get it out there, and it's something that I'm going to be working on again behind the scenes. But keeping everything going on this channel is a lot of work for just me at the moment, and I think with authentic vocal it will be a case of getting some other people, maybe one or two other people involved, so that we can start moving and creating this fork in the road that I want to try and do in the music industry, where people have a place to go if they just want to hear great singers singing naturally, and if they want to hear tuned vocalists, then they can listen to tuned vocalists. But it's just giving people the option. That's what I want the future of the music industry to be, because there's no point in trying to now stop everyone using AI, and I mean it's gone so far it's going to be probably impossible to do that anyway. But yeah, using AI and people that don't care about auto-tune and pitch correction and all these different things, if they don't care about it, then they can still listen to it. But this will be for the audience who do care about hearing great singers singing naturally and not listening to a processor moving their voice to different notes. So that's what hopefully we'll have, just a bit of a fork in the road. And I do know, a few singers who are very well known that are already behind it, and vocal coaches that are behind it. So I think it is something that can happen, but it's going to take a lot of work to get there, but I will do my best. So yeah, look out for that on Authentic Vocal very soon, that vocal coach video, because that's going to be a really cool one, because there are loads of vocal coaches involved that a lot of people will know from their channels on YouTube. And just generally from, going back to like Brett Manning, for example, I had his vocal coach course, or should I say his singing course, but it was called Singing Success. But him as a vocal coach, I've known of Brett for a very long time. And then probably a few months ago, he contacted me on Instagram, and I just approached him about doing this authentic vocal performance, and he sent me something, and also one of his coaches has sent me something as well. So it is great to be able to build these bridges with coaches that I've known for, that's probably 15 years, something like that, when I first heard of Brett Manning and saw his Singing Success course. But anyway, you can look out for this video. It's going to be coming out on Authentic Vocal. Right, so thank you for that, Lisa. Karen's donated £4.05. Again, the message is, "Hi Phil, I feel your parking ticket pain. In New York, cars are booted and towed for illegal parking. There are cameras in traffic lights, and you can end up with a red light or speeding ticket mailed to you. Is this done in England or worse? Take care, Karen." So I did once in London. I stopped my car to briefly go to the bathroom, and in the amount of time it took me to do that, which was, 2 minutes, by the time I got back to my car, they had already put, and this was a towing truck, they'd already put the things underneath my wheels to now lift it up onto the truck. And there were some people standing there who were just watching, because they couldn't believe, because they saw it all unfold. They saw me stop my car, and this was not at a busy time. It was in the evening. I don't know, maybe 7? Something like that in the evening. And it wasn't a busy part of London, and it was down a side street. So that's where I'd parked. And these people had obviously seen me park, quickly get out of my car, because there's a pub on the corner, went in there. And then, I don't know where these people were parked, but it must be their thing, that they have somewhere that they can park without being seen, and they must be watching it on CCTV. And they might know that people might stop there, maybe to do what I had to do. But it was in that short a space of time that the people standing there were saying to the people, he's literally been there for a minute. You can't lift his car up. And they said, "Oh no, we can't do anything about it now. It's too late, because we've already put the things on the wheels." And they were saying, "Well, no, you can take it off." And then I came out to see this discussion going on, and I said, what's going on?" They said, "Oh, you've been parked illegally." I said, "I've only been there for like a minute, 2 minutes." But anyway, that was all ridiculous. But this is the problem with these people. They lift up your car and they tow your car off to another, like a massive I was going to say like warehouse, but it's not that. It's like a massive car park for all of the cars that they've picked up and taken over there. So it was a massive operation. The amount of cars that were there that they're obviously going and picking up and trying to catch out for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So I had to then get a taxi to the place because obviously I was just following them in towing my car. So now I'm saying to a taxi, can you just take me to this car place because they've towed my car. So they go in there, they park my car, and I go there and say, yes, I'm here to pick up my car that you've just literally towed a minute ago. And they say, okay, well, the parking ticket is £30 and the towing fee is, I think it was 500 and something pounds, and it totaled up at about 600. And what was really annoying about it is that I'd saved up in my bank account maybe £700 or £800 because I was at that time either wanting to get a new effects processor unit or maybe an amplifier. Maybe it was around the time that I got my Line 6 amp. So I was saving up money because I needed it for obviously playing live and getting equipment. And I'd saved up just more than the parking ticket thing and the fine for the towing. So you just have to start from scratch and then save up again. So it was all a bit of a pain. Just meant more and more teaching guitar to try and save it up. But this is the world we live in. So anyway, moving on. Let's move away from the whole tickets theme. Let's have a look at the likeometer for tonight. We are at 362 likes and we're aiming for 430. So if you could hit the thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. We'll bust out the guitar, have a jam at the end of the live stream. And I don't think I can attempt to figure out how many more likes we need. I'm going to say something like, oh no, I was going to say 56, but I don't, maybe 66. I'm not sure. Or maybe 65. That's just a random number that my brain has come up with, and I'm just going to stick with it whether it's right or wrong. But, the other thing, before, somebody was asking me to demonstrate on the guitar the Red Beach technique that I do incorrectly. So, I will grab the guitar, and this isn't really the kind of guitar to be playing it on, but there is a little bit of distortion on the sound. Oh, good way to check my tuning for later on. So what happened was with Red Beach's technique, he would do that, and you can see that I'm not actually tapping the guitar. Can you hear this? So there, what happened, that's the pick that Reb is doing, but I do it with my third finger, and I think he kind of plays with his first finger. I wouldn't be able to do it because I haven't learned to do it the way, because I wasn't directly copying what he did. So that, you're getting the next note. Here, you tap it in. And then you flick it with your third finger, which makes you can kind of get to the next string. And then you can kind of blend things together like that. But obviously, I'm not as good at doing it as Red Beach, but it's a kind of sound that I liked. And the other thing that I then started to do was sliding. So you get another note in there, which is like tapping with my third finger and my second finger in order to get that. Just I don't know, just a different sound. And I think the reason that it appealed to me, kind of tapping in, because some players who have got bigger hands, they can reach notes without having to tap. But because I've got smaller hands, it meant that, like here, I'm using the sustain on the guitar. Playing it on a Strat is difficult, but when you tap in, hearing that that third finger, I'm kind of exaggerating it there, but it means that I can get in more notes without having to kind of move my position. So yeah, I'm sure that Red probably does that kind of thing. I don't know whether he if he's tapping with his first finger, I'm not sure. He might put in tap with the third finger, because I think he's holding his pick with his second finger when he does it. Or maybe he goes up and he might use that. He might be just holding his pick. Oh, you can't even see it. It's like a magic trick. So holding his pick like this with his second finger, going up. So you might be doing it like that. I don't know. But that's what's, I think, pleasing to my ear. I just like the sound of it, so I started kind of working at that. But that's the technique. If anybody wants to start, having a go at that, then you can do. And the other thing, you can kind of start to... And here, I think, this is the other thing that I sometimes stretch up with my second and third finger because of having smaller hands. And when I get up to here, let's keep it E minor, like that. Having this little finger here, it means that I can have access to the tap as well as kind of coming up here, because I've chosen to change to second and third finger there rather than... And now, I was going to say, and now you wouldn't be able to go up here, but if you wanted to try and do that with the third finger, then you can do. So I guess I've just worked at techniques that allow my smaller hands to reach notes that I know that guys can, reach, where in my Dreams cover that I did, and people say, oh, you're playing that wrong, the part that is kind of a stretch, and it is, but this up here is fine, but as soon as I kind of come down here, it's like my fingers, I'm really having to stretch to try and reach, and it's something that is more of a stretch than this. But George Lynch, when he's playing, when he's just himself, he's got bigger hands than me, so it means that he can do a bigger stretch. His little finger might come up here, and no matter how much you work at your flexibility, you are always going to be limited by the size of your hands. I mean, you might have, it works both ways. You might have a really big stretch, and you might be able to go from 5th fret up to 12, but then when you're now trying to, it depends, if you've got really slender fingers, you might get away with it, but when you're trying to now get your fingers into kind of tighter positions within frets, for example. So let's say I'm playing, say that I'm playing here, and you can get this double pick sound by tapping. And I'm putting my second finger of the right hand and third finger here, and I never do that when I play. It's just kind of a fun technique. But that, I can do that because I can fit both of those, well, technically they're pull-offs here. I can do that because my fingers are of a size where they can fit there. Whereas there might be somebody who's got bigger hands, and their fingers are going to be hitting each other because they're getting in the way. So this is it. There are some things that work out better for you, but the thing that I don't really do that just because it's not something that, when I'm playing and kind of singing through the guitar in my head, I'm never going like that. I'm generally coming up with a melody, but yeah, it's all extra technique that you might want to have, or especially if somebody wanting to play hammer-ons and pull-offs really quickly, then if they've got small enough hands, you can do that. If you've got bigger hands, then you might not be able to do that. But then if you've got bigger hands, you could do a stretch, whereas smaller hands, you won't be able to do it. So this is it. You just have to play to your strengths, and yeah, well, however you need it to work, then yeah, just it becomes your own way of playing, because you're just playing the way that your hand allows you to play, and you just come up with the melodies and the techniques that you want to work at in order to sound the way that you want to. And yeah, with my music and the kind of heavier sound that I'm into, that kind of, you know, the tapping, that kind of thing, it kind of suits the sound that I'm into. Even though I'm doing it a slightly different way technique wise, I still kind of like the sound of it. So right, Mo says, what electric guitar strings you use? I've got Ernie Ball Super Slinkies, which the strings that I've used I think all my life, and I've never really changed from them. So on my kind of practice guitar, which it's my first ever guitar that I got, that's got really heavy strings on there because I want them to last for a very long time, because it's just going through, you know, techniques, or just having a rough practice while watching TV or something. So it doesn't really matter that they're kind of really heavy, and I think they're probably like 11s or 12s on there. But these are technically 9s. I say technically, they are 9s. The Super Slinkies, the bright pink packet, are, let me skip this advert, are what I use. And again, even the strings that you choose and the gauge of string that you use, it's all going to be dependent on your hand and your hand size and your strength, for example. I've always thought that there's no point in making the guitar harder to play, you know, unless it's something that you think, oh, I hear the tone being so much better with this particular string. Like, you know, say for example you're playing 10s or 11s and you think, oh, the tone is heavier, therefore I want to use those strings, but I now can't do bends. Or, you know, say for example we're if you want to do a bend that is, you know, that's just a, if you want to go a little bit kind of crazy with it, not just a tone bend, or here, little things like that, where if I was playing like with 11s, for example, and I went and I wanted to do that, and I'm actually going beyond a tone there, here is there, you know, which is quite a nice sound. And having that accessibility for your own playing, if I had strings that were too heavy, I wouldn't be able to do that, but I'd want to be able to do that. So it's like, well, am I going to sacrifice the way that I want to be able to play for this, just the sound, you know, limiting what I can do or how I want to sound because I want a heavier string? Yeah, I think it's there's some people that say, oh, I saw this thread that somebody was asking about guitar strings, and somebody said start out on 9 gauge, and then as you improve move to 10, and then as you improve move to 11 and move to 12. And yeah, don't do that. It's not about, you know, the better you get at guitar, the heavier your strings are, because that would mean that someone like Steve Vai is going to be using 15s and 16s and 17s, and it's going to be like, you know, a power cable on their guitar that they're having to try and bend. So yeah, don't follow that school of thought. It's all to do with making the guitar easier for you to play so that you can express yourself. It's all about expression. If you can, yeah, get that through. Mo says, have you thought about using 0.07 gauge electric guitar strings also? So I haven't ever tried that light, so I don't know. I wouldn't. I think because I know what these feel like, and I'm trying to think of whether I think the ones down from 9s, like the 8s, are extra slinky. I think that's what they're called, Ernie balls. But anything, going down to 7s, I don't know. I kind of feel like that they would be too light, but you don't know until you try them. I'd have to try and find some somewhere. But I think once you find a place that you're quite happy with, that's something that suits your physiology and, like I said, hand size, strength, all that kind of stuff, then just stick with it. If you can express yourself with a particular set of strings, then just keep it as it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So anyway, those are the techniques, or should I say technique and advice for guitar players around the world watching this live stream tonight. And take from that what you will. Even with acoustic guitars, when people say, I'm learning to play acoustic guitar and my fingers are really hurting, I think when you start playing the guitar, your fingers will get used to it, but you've still got to make it as easy as possible, and part of that is getting strings that make it easier to play. So if you are playing an acoustic guitar, I would advise getting 10 gauge strings on there. So when people start playing acoustic guitar, more often than not, they buy a guitar from the guitar shop that's been hanging up on the wall for a few years, and they put 12s or 13s on those guitars because they know they're going to be up potentially on the wall for years. So they just have the heaviest strings in the world. So people take the guitar home and then they're playing with these strings that just aren't going to be applicable. I mean, those aren't really applicable for anybody playing. So I always say start light so that when you're learning, your fingers don't hurt too much. And if you feel like you want to go heavier once you get used to it, then go for it. But if you don't mind the tone and you quite like the sound of 10 gauge strings, for example, then just keep it light and make guitar playing enjoyable. So Dana says, do you have calluses on your fingers now? I think, looking at my fingers, that they pretty much look okay. There's nothing that you can see really noticeably. Obviously on my left hand is more noticeable, but I would say that more than having blisters or bits of skin that come off, that's something that happens when if you're really going for it when you first start playing, then you might get blisters or skin rubbing off and that kind of thing. But like I said, make it as easy as possible to play, so I wouldn't worry about going that far. But I think what happens is, in my case, just the ends of my fingers harden up, so it's not, I don't know, it still looks normal, because like calluses I think are something that you'd look and think, oh wow, they look really weird, but they just look like normal fingertips, but they're just noticeably firmer than on my right hand. My left hand's noticeably firmer. So anyway, there have been a few more donations in the super chat window, and was it Jennifer who donated next at $5? So thank you for that. And the message was, Phil, it's called make sure your mind is awake before you put your mouth in gear. I goof at the one a lot. What kind of picks and amps do you use? So thank you for that. With amplifier, line 6, HD, or Spider HD 150, to give it the full title, Spider 2 HD 150, I believe. So I had that for years, but when I first started using it, I realized that I could dial in the kind of tone that I wanted for live performance. So that's, once I found it, I thought, right, great, that is it, that's it done. Tick that off the list for having the kind of tone I wanted live. And picks, I think I've got lots of different thicknesses of picks, but I tend to go for 1mm or 1.1 millimeters, something along those kinds of lines, so quite firm when I'm playing. And that's really just for alternate picking, and I've explained it before that with a thicker pick, you can still play lightly, and then you can get more aggressive if you want to. But with a really thin pick, you can play lightly, and if you want to get more aggressive with it, you're not going to be able to do anything because it's just going to flop between the strings because it's too thin. So I think a happy medium between those would be like 0.83 of a millimeter. I think when I was teaching, I'd probably use that just as a go-to, just because it was in the shop where I was teaching. It was just at the front desk, you just pick one up and go with that. So yeah, but I'd say probably around 1 millimeter or 1.1 is what I use now. So we have another donation from Sue, and it's $9.99. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, spike the likes. Great idea. If you could hit the thumbs up, would be great. But we have already hit the target for the Phil Jam, which, by the way, we're going to have to jump into the cover video, which it says Hero has 50% of the vote. And Miles Away has 50% of the vote. So it is genuinely a 50-50 split. Hang on, that's in 301 votes. So, okay, so YouTube, this is the second time in the history of live streams that YouTube doesn't know how to count, because it's an odd number of votes and apparently it's 50-50. So is it Hero because it said Hero first? I think that's what we're going to go with. There we go. Yeah, I would. I was going to say I would. I've got some coins here. Oh, they're in a bag which I can't actually open. Aha, here we go. Right, so we have, okay, heads here. So heads is going to be Hero, tails is going to be Miles Away. Oh, dropped it. I'll tell you what, that wasn't very official, so I'll do it again. And it is tails, so it is Miles Away for tonight. I hope you guys enjoy this. I just realised I hadn't set it up before the live stream, but I've now found it. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys after. Rock! Okay, so quick introduction to this next video. This is more of a tribute video to Kip Winger, as I've been to see Kip in London and with his band, Winger, numerous times, and once I even went to France just to watch Winger. So this is my tribute, and it's me playing and singing Miles Away, and I hope you like it. See you later. Rock!
So this is love, also you tell me, as you're walking out the door. Months go by and I know for certain it's not the love I'm looking for. Sometimes, just for a moment, I reach out and hope you're still there. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles away.
And there we have it. That was my version of Miles Away, the Winger classic. And obviously, talking about Winger earlier, that was convenient for the coin toss to go that way. But anyway, we are going to be jumping quickly into Picture Corner, because then we've got to have the Phil Jam. And let me just see what we've got in Picture Corner for tonight. It's just going to be one picture, and here it is. It's Karen, and Karen says, "This is me at a Halloween party dressed as a butterfly. It turned out that the butterfly wings matched the colour of the letters on the Wings of Pegasus long sleeve t-shirt. I guess this is an example of wings on wings." So thank you for that, and thank you, Laura, for sending that my way as well. So that's Picture Corner for tonight, and I think we might already be zoomed out. I'm just going to double check with the red dude, and he says yes, we're already zoomed out. So we've already got the guitar on from earlier. We've had another donation. Karen says Franz Licht's were so large that they stretched over an octave on the piano. Would that be beneficial for aspiring guitarists? Thanks, Karen. Playing, well, if you've got most people stretch over an octave. The thing is, I can do an octave on the piano, so my hands aren't that big. So over an octave would be a little bit more. The more hand span you can get, probably the better. But you want to try and have slender fingers. So if you think about the alien from Alien, the one that kind of goes along the floor and then jumps up and has those really long, I was going to say fingers, but if you can get hands like that, then yeah, that'd be great for not only piano but playing the guitar. The only difference with piano is it's going to be a little bit misleading, because you go from thumb to little finger. On guitar, you go from first finger to little finger. The thumb isn't doing anything because it's behind the neck or on top of the neck. So yeah, you're missing out on all of that kind of span from thumb to first finger because of the instrument being different. So yeah, thank you for that. Quickly, there's been a donation over on PayPal. The Souls Compass has donated £2.22. Thank you for that. And the message is, "Hi Phil, I've recently been loving listening to the old style crooners singing jazz standards and classic songs. Singers such as Matt Monroe, Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole. Which singers from this era do you enjoy?" Thanks, Phil. Yeah, Nat King Cole, I've said before on live streams that his voice always pops up, or used to pop up around, and still does, my household. It's just the sound of Christmas that a Nat King Cole album gets put on. But yeah, same with Matt Monroe, Frank Sinatra. Yeah, I think around Christmas time is the crooner time. But yeah, just those voices that remind me of Christmas. But anyway, I think I've been asked that before, but thank you for that. We have to get into this Phil Jam because we are already at 14 minutes past, and wow, this is 8 minutes. So I've clicked on it, and it started up straight away, which is handy. This is sexy 90s blues rock jam. Guitar backing track in A minor from Now You Shred. Backing tracks, and the YOU is in capital letters. To see if I can hear all of this. Can you hear this? This is like Black Velvet, or at least it sounds like that. That change and that change. I'm trying to avoid playing the melody. I just pretend that I've got a really long solo, like 8 minutes for the song. I'm not sure that those are the right chords for the melody. Advert! Oh, I'm not gonna get it. I did get it. just over a minute. Oh, and that was it. So that was Sexy 90s Blues Rock Jam guitar backing track in A minor from Now You Shred backing tracks on YouTube. Now, the one thing that I've got about that is with in the chorus when we go I'm sure it went that's the kind of melody to this I think, at least, maybe I'm thinking of a different song, but those changes, I was always expecting it to go into the chorus and go into, and I don't know why, I'm sure that is the melody. So the first chord going into that chorus part, I think, was a little bit wrong. So this is why it's kind of a little bit off-putting, because you're expecting to go one place. But then again, I guess if you're just copying the progression chord by chord, then maybe it's a cover and not a backing track. So who knows? But yeah, when playing through on the guitar and knowing that song and the melody of that song, I don't really know the words of the song, but knowing the melody of the song, trying to resist going to it, following all those changes, because if you went to the melody, it would be wrong with the chord that comes up. So there we go. Anyway, and Karen says, excellent jam. Phil, what's with clearing your throat? I do not know. It's probably because I stopped talking. If I keep on talking, it's fine. As soon as I stop for any length of time, then I have to clear my throat. But it's just a natural human thing that does happen now and again. And yeah, it just happened then to clear my throat. Because otherwise I probably wouldn't have been able to talk. It's probably a good idea. Probably a sign that I need to drink some water, because this is it when I'm doing... Oh, well, that's probably why, because it's 25 past midnight. So I've been talking for probably the best part of an hour and a half non-stop, apart from just doing that Phil jam. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in for tonight. And I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. And, oh, just quickly... We've had a few donations in the super chat window. Malteser donated $9.99. Thank you for that. And says, if an alien says, come with me and I will show you my world, would you go with him? I'd say, well, it depends how long it would take. If you could freeze time and if your world is safe and I won't die, then yeah, okay. But I've got to be back because I'm doing a video tomorrow night. So... thank you for that. Kiri Alaisons donated $5 and says thank you. So thank you. Tammy's donated $5 and says awesome jam. Thank you. So thank you for that as well. Right, we're going to be calling things to a close now. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys at tomorrow night's video. So I will see you then. Rock!